My phone. Good evening and good afternoon in the US. And we're live tonight with Gary Field. So how you doing, Gary?
Oh, good evening and thank you for having me. I'm brilliant. Couldn't be better.
Oh, it's so great to speak to you again.
Oh, thanks for having me along. It's certainly a pleasure, you know what I mean? And again, it's ace being around like-minded people.
Oh, brilliant. I actually met you, 3 years ago, was it?
Yeah, it only seems like yesterday, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And you really freaked me out.
Well,
What can I say?
I'll take that as a compliment. Again, just doing my job, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you just have a different way from working than any other medium I've met. You
Well,
really have.
I try and give back what I receive, and a lot of mediums, in a way, it's hard sometimes because everyone works in different ways. There's no right or wrong way with mediumship. It is what it is. Give what you're given, and just run with it as well. But I try and interact a little bit extra, and bring a lot of other people into play, and give them the experience and getting them what's going on in and around the room or the castle or the location, and that's what it's all about. I try and give you as much as what I'm receiving at the time, spiritually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Happy birthday to Sandy, Nigel, and thanks for sharing. Yeah, so what happened, I met you at Warwick Castle, and we sort of, like, a few of us were meeting up. We hadn't met before. We ended up in the stables car park, and you arrived in your beautiful open-top car on the other side of the car park, and like, oh, are you meeting for this, and yeah. And sort of worked with you all night, and it's amazing because you sort of link your guides with my guides.
Yeah,
and then you had me walking into a room going, I see this, 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 this. And I was like, what's going on? And I've actually got footage I want to release of this because I was a bit weary of it at the time. But yeah.
Well, sometimes I try not to have it so it's overpowering. It's just like where usually a week or two or a few days before, usually pick up on what you're going to come across or come into on an investigation. Your guide and your team will try and not have a little scan round, but they'll say, oh, be wary of this, or, have a little think about what level of floor you're on, or just watch out for this area and stuff like that. So when you meet like-minded people and the energy's high, it heightens everything. So when it heightens everything, your guides will interact and they'll have a chat, and then before you know it, they're already coming across with things prior to them happening, because they have that way of understanding that they already are looking out for you before something happens as well, So that's the link and the connection that you can have in and around people's energies and auras and the atmosphere of the room, and I always ask for the place to come alive prior to going there. And I've got a little knack of asking for the older energies to come through first. And some nights you can stay with all the older energies relating way back to the 1600s or something like that.
Yeah.
And usually from each session, when we've had a break, you get a different theme or a different era, decade and century. And that's the way I like to work, So we get a bit of a mixture of the whole fabrication of what's gone on there in the history and the layers of what's gone on in the past spiritually as well, and that's what you can't buy.
That's right. And the place where I did meet you, Warwick Castle, my gosh, it's got so much happening there, isn't it?
And also as well, when we've done other investing, we've gone back there as well. How things have tied in from the first time we had the visit, where I said about a certain person that was on the bed at the time as well, Alistair Crowley, and like little hidden rooms as well behind corridors and doors, and you're walking down the place in like Warwick Castle, and you're like, something feels different, and you're walking into a building that's got hidden rooms and hidden doors, and
yeah.
So even places like that can get your sixth sense and over heighten your own energies to think there's something else going on behind that wall or in that room or in that location, and that's where everything just comes alive, and there's never two invests the same, is there?
No, that's right. You do find, though, that you do pick up on similar characters, though, don't you?
Yeah.
You can go one time and then sort of pick another story up the next time from the same person.
Yeah, most definitely. And again, you're getting the history of that spirit and that energy that, You know, they might remember a banquet they've had, or a hall, or a feast, or a get together in the hall, or something like that. Or it all depends where you go. I always find for myself, one of the hardest places to always invest in Masonic lodges, because it's very secretive, it's very hush hush. So you've got a lot of layers to get through when you do like Masonic lodges and stuff like that as well. So again, there's different times and place. So, you know, it's nice sometimes to sit back and let the energies come to you that want to communicate with you, than you going in there and going, okay, spirit, right, give us something. It's sometimes you've got to sit back in certain locations as well and go, all right, let's see what comes forward.
Yeah, that's it. So you've been to so many locations. You've toured. Have you been to most places in the UK? You know, have you done Scotland and Ireland?
I haven't done Ireland yet. It's on the bucket list.
Right.
But obviously I couldn't really go over there now without the van. Do you know what I mean? And the equipment.
Oh,
so
gosh, yeah.
again, it's all like, it all comes down to the old booking of the ferry and everything else as well. And had a little trip over to France last month, and we went past Flounders and stuff like that.
Wow.
And it was just, I've got a little bullet, which I was given to me from Ashley, that was in Derby Goal. And he actually gave me a bullet from Flounders, obviously, and the battlefield and stuff like that as well. So there's certain places you go to, and like the Somme, went to the Somme, and that was just very, it's just like, you're quite speechless sometimes in the places that you go to. Do you know what I mean? It's just so settled, and it's just like, it just takes your breath away sometimes when you go into a place that there's been a lot of passing spirits over, or battlefields and stuff like that. So sometimes it can overtake your energies and your emotions. But I always try and work, when I try and help and support and develop other mediums and people that want to get into the mediumship side of it, I always say you've got to take your emotions out of it. But sometimes when you go on the land, it's like, you know, it can be very zapping in a way, not with your energy, but you see the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. I was lucky. I did meet up at Bosworth, didn't I, with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. That was awesome, wasn't it?
You know, when I'm drunk is when I'm dancing. So if you see me dancing, don't get me dancing. So
yeah.
No, we had a cracking weekend, you know what I mean? And it's great to meet like-minded people, you know.
Yeah.
So, no, they are a long weekend, aren't they? All the Paracons and get-togethers and all that. Yeah. But it's what it's about, being sharing your experiences. And
yeah, it is great, because like in the real world, there's a lot of people you actually can't mention things to, or you can't mention the real stories, because they'll just look at you, got out. Like, like I do like finance, so you know, I have mentioned it to my bosses what I do, and they're quite intrigued by the stories. But not everybody, you know, in the office would actually be up for that one, would they?
Yeah, I always say, like, with your best friends and all that, you can talk about football, you can talk about paranormal. So you've got certain friends and people that you can discuss certain things with, haven't you? So you've got to break the segments down, and you've got to break the right time and the place to say something. And, and you'll always find as well, the ones that don't want to talk about it are usually the most intrigued, and then they'll send you a video of something that's gone on in and around them, or, you know, if it's an anniversary of somebody that's passed, or that, you know, Christmas get together, and then they'll see an orb or something like that, or something flying around the room and something going on. So you always, I would say, don't, you know, always expect the unexpected, even with people that are non-believers as well, because how many people have come across in the field that have been non-believers, and then they've had a good night on the investigation, and they're like, you know, fair dues, that was an interesting investigation. And that's what it's about. Seeing is believing.
Oh, it is, isn't it? And you try and like work out reasons, and you try and work out what's happening and everything, don't you? And oh wow, it's just, and then something else happens and it just totally blows your mind, and you've got to rethink, haven't you?
Well, I think the hardest part for me is always remembering, because as a medium, it comes in, it goes out. So
oh, bless you.
I do try and take a pad, obviously, and make some notes. You know, if I'm with our Linda or another member of the teams around, they'll usually take notes for me. It's just the bullet points of the notes of the evening, just to recap sometimes and go, oh yeah, I remember that now.
I've got your notes from Warwick Castle.
Have you?
I've got them, yeah.
And that amazing picture where we got in the library that you took.
Oh. Yeah, now I recently went to Warwick Castle, and it has actually got glass over the front of that cabinet.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it had glass over it then. And if it did, it might be debunked.
Yeah, that's fine. But at the end of the day, there was, I remember that room was quite swirling and there was quite a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Following us around and in certain corners of the room as well. Do you know what I mean? And they're like,
it's just hard to say. I have got to contact the castle and ask when they put that screen over the bookcase. But saying that, I think that my photos will show if the screen was over it or not, because it would have had. When I've got photos, I went a couple of weeks ago. And I got photos of that room, because I had to, you know, with my DSLR again. And there was a lamp, and it reflected on the glass screen behind it. So that's obvious. So obviously, I need to check my old photo to see if there's a reflection of the lamp behind it.
Yeah, and that's again.
And that will show me if there was a glass screen then.
And we always know it's always good to debunk anyway. You know, we'll do that first all the time.
Oh, definitely. Like, I even showed MJ and Corinne the photo at the time. I was at Haunted Antiques, and I got my laptop, and you know, I got the memory card. I said, "There you go, check that," and like check the EXIF data as well. You know, it's on slow shutter speed, and yeah, it was checked, and it's one of those.
I've got another little story from Warwick Castle as well.
Oh yeah.
Do you know where it says "Do not enter"? The alarms will go off. It was actually in the church part, and I actually didn't see the lights, virtually stepped over through the line, and the alarms went off about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was like there, and I was just like picking a trigger object up when the security come down. I was like, I obviously dropped this trigger object, and I bent over and I didn't see the alarm. I set all the alarms off and all the wedding guests and everything there that was on at the time. So I can imagine I set a few alarms off.
I was with you in the chapel?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, God, because like I picked up on this spirit lady, and I picked up that she was going down the altar, and she didn't want to get married. And she's been forced into this wedding, and she really didn't want to get married. All of a sudden, the alarms went off. All hell broke loose. The security bloke was legging it down the corridor.
Yeah, that was me.
The timing was like spot on for this woman not wanting to get married. Oops.
That was me picking up a trigger object that had dropped. So I placed it, trigger object, dropped it, and then gone over through the alarm system. So that was quite of a shock. You know what I mean? Can I safely say I wasn't expecting that night?
I know, because like they're just running around with the radios. If you move, no, we're not doing anything.
Guilty.
Oh, funny one. You'll have to. I don't know if Amy Slaney still does confession show. That's a good one.
Yeah, but as again, it happens sometimes. Happens to the best of us, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Because like we were told specifically, if it's red, don't go over it. If it's dark, you can. And we did step over, didn't we?
Certainly did. I do like Warwick Castle though. Again, even on the approach up to Warwick Castle, the energies just change. And even when I parked up in the car park, I had to go around to the building, you know, by the bridge, that the old, was it, I don't know whether it's not black and white, the Tudor building that's down by the bridge and all that. I'm just getting called to there. So you get called to places even, you know, when you're in the town or the city as well, or you go past the building, you're just drawn to it. I've got to go in there. I've just got to put my hand on it and pick the residual energies up and work with who wants to work with me, you know?
Yeah, it is a fantastic place. And it's just weird, like last time, we're just driving out, it's just over a couple of weeks ago, and there's a badger. I saw a badger run by. It was like lovely. Actually managed to park right outside of it. which is handy. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Good evening, folks.
Yeah, I need you on a show, Chris, but you don't check your messages. Oh, but yeah, I've been on Chris's event at the Matlock Pav, and yeah, brilliant night. Really enjoyed it. So definitely recommend a team to go out with.
Yeah, I've not been down that one yet, so I'll have a little look.
Oh no, I've got it booked next year.
So keep me informed.
Yeah, you never do. Yeah, I think I left you a message on the night, and I don't think you ever saw it. I don't know. So far down my messages now. But yeah, I need to contact you. So look out in the little box. But yeah, so you've been to all these cool places in the UK. What are your favourite places? Oh, thank you. Cheers.
I do like the castles. You know, I've had
like the castles.
And, you know, and then certain, like even if you just go into a normal hotel and you're not doing a paranormal invest, or you're just away on holiday or having a break, and then all of a sudden it's just like interesting stuff comes along, and or a black shadow will come right and stand in your face. Like we stopped off for a coffee at Conway Castle or somewhere like that, and Carnarvon Castle, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, ooh, what are you about? I've got this figure just stood right in front. It's obviously like the gatekeeper there, or somebody just looking after the land, and then it's just like, what are you doing here? You know, your light's too bright, and you're like, oh, I'm just going for coffee. So I'll introduce myself spiritually, and I'm just tired because I want to rest and go for the coffee. So some nights or some days, you know, it can be very interesting on the road as well. But I love Stirling Castle, drawn to there. I think there's links with past lives.
Awesome.
I nearly crashed the car about 4 years ago. I was with Brian Harley and Rick McCullum from Hollywood Ghost Seekers, Hollywood Ghost Team. And as I was driving up to Stirling, I come off the bypass and I got "Welcome home, sire." And I was like, did you hear that? And he's like, hear what? And I was like, no, he heard nothing. I was just like, wow. It's just like, it was mind blowing. It was just to hear something like them words that you don't expect. So again, tie some past life regressions in and try and work out the chapters in between of certain decades and centuries. You know, I've got massive gaps in certain ages, like the 500s or the 1200s. So around the 1600s, there's quite a lot going on. Do you know what I mean? Wow. But I know I've got an old soul. I've been around a good 2,000 years, about Mary Magdalene. I've been around there in past lives and stuff like that again. And Knights Templar always stands out, which again, I've got a big picture of the Knights Templar there. And I even found myself on a journey went on about 4 invests, and they had links with the Knights Templar at every invest I went. So I was going like Todmorden Church, and it had links with Knights Templar, and there was another Knights Templar link to another church as well. So the route and the path was taking me all down this Knights Templars path, like going up to York, and then it was going up to Elland and stuff like that, and then it was in Edinburgh. So like 4 or 5 invests, the places that I went, they were all linked with. I'm like, oh, Knights Templar again. So that was in like 3 weeks time, you know, 2 or 3 weeks together consecutive. It was like, oh, Knights Templar link, Knights Templar link. And
that's brilliant.
Winchester Great Hall, that blew my mind away, just seeing the Knights Round Table, you know, hence if it, you know, it might be a made up one of the table. I couldn't say if it's real or not, but just walking in the hall, I just got in the museum, I got kneel, please kneel. And I'm like, it's an open museum, it's on a Sunday afternoon, and spirits are telling me to kneel. And I'm like, okay. I kneel, and everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm kneeling. I got told to kneel. So spiritually, some people say to me, you know, you take a lot of notice of spirit, and I'm like, well, yeah, because I've got a lot of trust with my team, my guides, and you know, the helpers, healers, and watchers I have around me as well. I do take a lot of notice of them because they've steered me around away from a few disasters in life.
Wow.
And they've always looked after me, you know what I mean? I was on death's door when I was 7 years old.
Oh, bless you.
I had a heightened situation in 2004 where I had a neck and spinal injury, and that heightened everything again. So I had an injury from an impact at the back of the head, and that just heightened everything again,
Oh
even
my gosh.
greater senses. So it's done for a reason. It was like I'd like a spinal cord bleed, which is called the brown squidard, and it's actually a bleed of the spinal cord, and it's like 5 million to 1, but that heightened everything sensitivity wise tenfold. So again, things are meant to be sometimes as well, you know. So even if it's against you at the time, it's there for, it happens for a reason in life as well. The near-death experience when I was 7 years old,
Yeah,
that heightened everything again. Do you know what I mean? So they don't know how I survived. I think I had salmonella food poisoning, but they thought I had appendicitis. So that heightened everything again of that near-death experience. Do you know? And seeing the visions that I seen and the spirit's energies that I sensed in and around when I was 7 years old in the hospital at the time, keeping me going. You know what I mean? They kept me going. Do you know what I mean? It was like whispered in your ear, and you know, it's not your family member. You know, it's not my living family that was talking to me. It was actually energies and spirits coming in that was like, you're too young, keep going, keep going, keep going. So there's a lot of people I've not really told that. A few people that's really close to me in my own circle know about stuff like that. So again, they're the things of that you look on your path and your journey. As I said to you prior to coming on the video, it's just on the live, it's like I was a big believer in fate and path as well. So again, it's go again time now. So we've had a little bit of a slowing down the last month or two, but again, it's time to go and recharge your energies and go again, you know.
Yeah, I totally get you about messages though, because I just took the dog a walk yesterday. You know, we met a group of boxers, came back, just heading down the slip road on the M1. And in my head it said, be careful. Well, I'd already looked through my wing mirror. The lane was clear, not a lot on the road. Then I just looked again and there's a car right on the outside.
Yeah.
And you do check. You know, you always take that final check, and I probably would have done anyway. But it's a fact, it's be careful, and then well, what you doing there?
But it is a jaw mouth situation as well, because you always take that sharp in, take a breath, don't you? And it's like,
yes,
wow. And you put them things together and you're like, I always acknowledge them and say thank you. You know what I mean? So if you not acknowledge them and say thank you, again, to me, everything comes tenfold. Do you know what I mean? So again, the little things in life, you know, again, a lot of things are a fine balance where we never stop learning. And these are the little things that are put before you to learn from and go again. You know what I mean? The people I've met in the paranormal world is just blow my mind away, you know.
Yeah. My emergency car engine light comes on periodically, and it used to be my mum's car, and I think it's down to her. I'm pretty sure of it, but you know, like I've done a lot of traveling, and you don't get it going on. But yesterday it went on as well. So when I was going by Annesley Hall just before I hit the M1, and that's when the emergency warning light went on, and then I got that message, be careful. And it's like, well, you know, it is special though, isn't it? It really is.
Well, I always say you can't buy that type of scenario or situation when
when
people experience what we experience and what we've come across and what we've been involved with and people around us. You can't buy that. And that's why I always say to people, they'll send me photographs, they'll send me videos. And I always say, I like to be there to feel the atmosphere change.
That's it. You can't always tell from a photo, can you?
No, and it's not, to be honest, I don't think it's fair to comment, because you've got to take the people that's actually there of what they've experienced before. I no real reason for me to put my experience on it, you know what I mean, of what I'm getting told by my team. So, you know, how many times have we been to Drakelow and we've come across...
Oh, God, I know when you was nearly scared at Drakelow. You weren't quite scared, but you just had to get out of there.
Well,
that's that kitchen area.
She does like me, the lady in there, so let's put it that way. It's always nice to have a breather, isn't it, when certain lady figures get too close sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you had to leg it, didn't you?
I've never run anywhere, Jacqueline, you should know that.
Yeah, I know you didn't run, but it was, we're leaving now.
Yeah, so it's...
I forgot about that.
the ladies can be very boisterous sometimes as well, in spirit, as well as jovial as well. So I've had some amazing stories out of there, though, to be honest with you.
Oh,
You
it's
know,
a shame, isn't it?
I've had like hidden gems and hidden diamonds and hidden stuffs in the safe area and everything. And, you know, by the mess area, and where there's usually, remember that there's a board with the safe by that, I think it's the male toilets, and there's all keys. I've had like hidden safes. I've seen hidden safes and stuff like that spiritually. So I think there was a lot more guarded there than what was known about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And a lot more ammunition out the back door and stuff like that in relations to going over the water from like Liverpool on the ferry over to Ireland and stuff like that as well. So there's been a lot of misdemeanors gone on with stories that people can't relate to around the building, but a lot of things went on back in the day. Again, it just amazes different things that come alight in different times that you go. And that was one of the first times I went there. My sat nav put me right outside Drakelow, and then it went off on a different location for about another 3 miles, and it was like, spirits haven't finished unloading the back door yet, so you can't come in for another half an hour, go another 15 minutes down the road, and then come back, because they were offloading materials out the tunnels. And when you get to the end of the story, at the end of the night, you're like, that's why you sent me sat nav crazy and stuff like that.
Because we went down that canal one day, didn't we?
Yeah.
We sort of met in the pub in Wolverley, and then we sort of headed down the canal and picked up things there. Now, I think there's a link between Drakelow and Wolverley. Now, Wolverley was a USAF base.
Yeah.
And it's now the site of a camping and caravan club site. So I actually stayed on there, and you've still got some original buildings around there. And I was chatting to one of the locals, and said once there's like the earth dropped and there's a sinkhole appear, and instead of like normal council coming around, they actually had to get somebody in from the army, to sort it. So I wonder if there's a link between Drakelow tunnels and if it runs under as far as there somehow.
Well, I was actually with Pitch Black on an investigation there, and we picked up on American Army soldiers in Drakelow, and that's where I'd done the transfiguration of the Boxer, and they had underground fighting at the end of the night, and you could actually see on my face the bridge is red raw.
I think I've seen pictures of footage of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the actual lady went to take some photographs, and she actually hit the video on the phone, so it was recording, and you could actually hear running.
Oh my gosh.
On the echo box and all that as well. You could actually hear running, and you could actually hear a couple of gunfires going off on there as well. It was quite eerie as well. So that was as pure as anything. But we've had the old Americans as well when we've been down the opposite end of the fire exit, on the opposite end, on the front of the building. Similar stories come out there when I've been with the likes of Jolene and stuff like that as well. So the back of the truck stuff and all materials being shepherded from one end of the building to the other as well. So there's a lot of amazing things that's come about. You know what I mean? And you're like, wow. So you can go to and invest 5, 6, 7, 8 times and get different levels of the stories. And
it's amazing.
It does. It just blows my mind away,
Yeah. It was a fantastic location. You hope one day we can get down there. But I know they're doing tours, last I read, and you can't even take a camera or photos, which is shocking. So, yeah, it's boring. But, so we'll go back to some messages then, try and catch up a bit. So, Van Hunter, Gary, when I was at the old Nick with you and Kenny, what or who was actually telling you the story that came out, which matched with everything in the room? You suddenly just changed to overdrive.
It's the link and the connection, Von. It's when it's like, right, here we go, run with it, and then it just comes about. And it's the easiest way, as I said before, what comes in, just give what you're given. So when you've got that start of the pinpoint of your bullet point to go with and run with, it heightens the energy, brings the energy forward. I think the gentleman was stood in the doorway in between the judge's room in the corner, and it's a case of, right, and then I'll show the character. I'll try and heighten his energy into mine and mix and blend with him. And again, it's just run with it, give what you're given, and go with it as well. And again, I always go in raw, I always go in blind, which I always feel the best way. So
Yeah.
if you've got regulars that go to certain locations, or a part of a team that's attached to a location or a building, it's always nice to give what you're given, and they can relate to it, and that's the best way.
Yeah. I did have a question here from Chris Chow, which is what I was about to press when you just said what you've said, so you've kind of answered it. Research first or after attending a location? Thoughts in the chat?
No, you'll see me at the start of an investigation. Went to the Park Hotel a few months back.
Oh yeah,
and that's been calling me for 4 or 5 years. And the gentleman started to talk about the evening, I think it was with Wednesday Paranormal, and you just see me, I put my fingers in my ears and I walk around the corner, and then within a minute a couple of other mediums that all follow me around, because you don't need to know the history. Again, it's just like the least you're given the better, because it's natural how it is then. Do you know what I mean? So, and you get to the bottom of the story of what they know and what they're looking for, and you come out and give what you're given at the end of the night. It might take 6 hours to give that bullet point of what they're specifically looking for. And that's the best investigation I like, is when they start the investigation and you get to the bottom of the answers 5, 6, 7 hours later. And that's what I always enjoy, because that's what you're there for, to get to the root of each segment, of each story, of each layer, and get to the bottom of what it was about at the time. You know, so if someone was crooked, or someone was a rogue, or someone was a happy chap, or looked after people, and get to understand what that spirit or that energy was about, and get their mannerisms, their emotions, their ailments, what they were about, and really take part of that character and the theme. And again, it's like you get flashbacks and cine films and snippets, so you'll see images, you'll sense things behind you before you see it or sense it. So it comes from all directions. And again, we learn as we're moving forward, certain energies will try and trick you, certain energies will portray what they're not. So you're like, okay, guys, I'm a little bit like this, I'm not getting to the fully understanding here. Go and have a cup of tea, come back, bang, you get what you're given in the next room, and it's like, yeah, you're right, that wasn't that spirit, that wasn't that energy. There's a lower energy trying to trick you, and there's a lower energy that's playing a misdemeanor, doesn't want you on the building, doesn't want you giving their story, doesn't want you telling them what about, because a lot of people were private. Depends what they did in their day. So whatever their character and the mannerism of what they were about in the day, you know, they don't want you telling certain parts of the stories, you know what I mean?
I've done that. I've got into trouble. 3 consecutive investigations. They were telling me it's not relevant. Because I was getting too much and they didn't like it. But I think, is it a problem because I'm a woman as well? Because here I am, I'm a woman and I'm coming out with their secrets.
No, some amazing mediums out there. Yeah,
no, I mean from their perspective. Because obviously, if they were like,
what it is, Jack, as well, if they want to sell tickets and have public going back 5 or 6 times, they don't want you giving the kitchen sink straight away, do they?
No, I mean the spirit.
Certain people might take 5 or 6, 7 investigations to get the information that we get on a different level, or people are more tuned in, or people are more heightened. You don't want to give the kitchen sink away, do you? Do you know what I mean?
But the spirit was moaning at me.
You give what you're given. There's no right or wrong way. So the way you do it is right. Give what you're given. There's no wrong way with it. But if someone's telling you to shut up, they're telling you to shut up because it's like, don't give too much information. We want possibly people to keep coming back. I don't know the nature of that investor, that group or that team. I don't know.
Oh no, it was the spirit. It wasn't the team. The team were. It was weird from the moment. It was Arlington Manor was the first time with National Paranormal Investigators. I was asked to be a speaker there, so I turned up, and as soon as I walked in, I picked something up. And it just carried on all through. I stayed there overnight. And then the last session, we did a Ouija board session. And I kept away, but I was just getting stuff. And I was saying stuff. And you were getting right stroppy with me. The spirit was.
You can have that side of it as well, can't you? Because, again, you're telling the stories and the times of what they portrayed. I mean, I've been up in Edinburgh and my mates booked me a hotel room, and before you're ready, you've been on an investigation and they go, I've booked you that room for a reason. And you're like, no, don't tell me. And then you're like, you walk in the room, you'll sense something and you're like, okay, I'll sleep with me back towards that energy tonight, or I'll sleep with me back towards the wall. And again, it's like, sometimes I will even go and lie and put a pillow on the floor, on the carpet, and I'll just lie. I won't lie in the bed. Or sit in a high chair, because you want to just get a few hours sleep and then you go again. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it's all about not just going in and flaking and crashing. It's all about still being aware of having your wits about you. If you're in a certain location that's got a lot of history, I think that was just outside Roslin Chapel, the hotel. And again, it was just amazing. But this one energy just virtually doesn't want to let you sleep. It's like it just keeps, I'm here, and like, I know you are. So again, you've got to switch off even in a comfortable position and shield up sometimes, because again, if you're driving, you need them few hours sleep. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh, definitely, yeah. I luckily I don't get caught out. Chris Chow, Park Hotel is amazing. The owner can be okay. As a medium guy, wouldn't pollute his night. I imagine about it before knowing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's, again, most definitely. It's again, because you want to go back there and get some more information and more different energies coming through and all that. Do you know what I mean? And even like in the Park Hotel, even in the basements, you've got a little child holding your hand, and you're like, right, okay. So a lot of things are special. You know what I mean? And you'll get a lot of spirits that come to you to be comforted and helped. And that's what it's about. I'm a helper, I'm a healer. That's my path.
Oh, bless you. Yeah. It's just amazing what you do. It really is. And, I think you bump into people on your journey, don't you?
Yeah, most definitely. I've been around some amazing people in the paranormal world, and, I've worked with some of the best people out there as well. And it's just fantastic to be around like-minded people.
Oh, right. Yeah, I meant to ask this question. So was the near-death experience, was it in hospital then?
Yeah, it was in, let me think. I think it was Arrow Park on the Wirral. I was actually born in Bebington at Clatterbridge. So I'm just I can't remember the actual hospital. It was either Clatterbridge Hospital where I was born, or I think, yeah, it was Clatterbridge. It was Clatterbridge Hospital where I was born. That was a near-death experience. And they thought I had appendicitis for 2 weeks. So they waited for it to burst. And it wasn't appendicitis. My mum got a second opinion in after 2 weeks. I was still at home, and it was salmonella food poisoning. So I'd had salmonella food poisoning for 2 weeks. And then it took 2 weeks to come out the other side of it then. So I had it for 4 weeks.
Are you sure it was salmonella and not sepsis?
It was, they closed the school down.
Oh, okay.
So not closed it down totally, the full investigation and everything back in the day.
Oh my gosh, to say.
So,
yeah.
So I just collapsed when that happened. And then, yeah, so but the thing is that put me off a lot of food as well, with certain.
Well, yeah.
I'm quite pernickety with. I don't like a lot of, I don't know, certain types of food with pips in and stuff like that. I stay away from a lot of like stuff like that. That's just like, I always say, like, too fiddly. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't eat a lot of fish. I'll have a fish, but I couldn't have like a paella or something like that abroad. I'm very choosy. I stick to the high fiber and stuff like that, or a lot of pasta and stuff like that now. So it's just, I always say, quite simplistic. You know what I mean? It's just.
Oh, bless you.
So
you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. My first game was 1973-74 season, so I'm actually in my 50th season now. Oh, obviously, I've had kids, and I didn't go for the time. I've gone matches here and there in between, but this will be my 50th season of going the game.
Yeah, no, it takes you everywhere, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I have been all over all over Europe as well, with amazing places, with amazing friends as well. Rome in '84, and where did we go? It was obviously in Belgium in '85. But Rome was amazing. Just to be in a city at 17, 18, going on a train through the vineyards of Switzerland and stuff like that when I was 17, 18, and it's just mind blowing. So I've seen some amazing places, and Germany and Spain, everywhere else as well. So I've done all that as well. But again, I get drawn to the places when I'm there. So when I'm there, I'm drawn to the buildings as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you went round a place when you're coming back from Paris as well, which is beautiful.
It was the Notre Dame Cathedral.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's like the sister of the Notre Dame, but it was actually the cathedral.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because that was gorgeous.
But that was like, I know, and people are asking me, have you linking in with anybody? And I'm saying, I can sense a mail on the doorstep at the side of the building again, just like going, I want a word with you. And I'm like, but, I mean, I always use the universal language, you know what I mean? So I couldn't speak French. So when I see a spirit in a different country, it's again, use the universal language, which is to me English. So if someone's trying to get me attention, I'll ask my guide to talk in and around the spirit. If they come forward and I can't understand them, I'll say, you need to communicate on my wavelength. You know what I mean?
Oh, bless you.
And again, that's frustrating.
That is a question which comes up quite a lot about the language barrier. You go to a different country and how do you understand the spirit? Is there a language issue?
Yeah, most definitely. And again, it's like, I'll ask my guide basically to say, go and work with the spirit energy there, or go and just communicate the way that you go through the eras or the decades and communicate with that spirit energy. And, obviously no comprende, so just, again, come and work with me in a different time. I might get home, that spirit energy might be in the garden and I'll be sitting in the chair or something like that on a summer's day and having a cup of tea. And I'm like, right, okay, now they're understanding what we need to do, you know what I mean? Or again, we can still link in from where we've been. We can link in from just visiting and traveling spiritually as well. So I might get drawn back there in my sleep, or, if I'm meditating, I can link in and connect and work with it again, the energies as well. And obviously, if spirit energies are often crossing over, I just ask them to wait in my back garden. So if they're after me attention, I usually say, wait in my back garden till a Sunday afternoon. That's when we're wound down. That's when we're nice and chilled and relaxed. And if anyone wants to go to the light, I'll help them cross over to be with the friends, family and loved ones. So sometimes it can be very busy, and I have a lady that works with me quite often, and she'll say, Gary, your backyard's full, or back garden's full. I'm like, yeah, okay, I know, we've been busy. So again, you get the understanding of my house is my environment. Wow. Please stay out. If you're not friends and family, please wait outside,
That's brilliant. How long did it take for you to set that boundary though?
Well, I do have a witch that actually lives about 2 doors away from me.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So she works amazingly. She's done it years ago, you know what I mean? So, excuse me. What I usually do is I just usually put my wall up on the back of my garden, so nothing overlaps. So what's meant to be in and around for that person stays with that person. So a little boundary and divide. But again, it's your own little segment as well. Do you know what I mean? So again, everyone works in different ways, and I always try and keep a nice wall up there, nothing negative. It's just try and keep, I'll deal with what I've got on this side, you work with whatever's around your area. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in my head and my mind, I'll be in a different location or going through Chester or somewhere like that, and I'll say to spirits, I'll say my postcode and I'll say, just wait in the back of that garden, follow the rainbow. Wow. So I'll open a rainbow from where we are and just say, follow the rainbow to where my back garden is spiritually. When you see the rainbow, just drop off at the back end of the rainbow and wait in the back garden. So I'll put a loop and that works for me. Everyone works in different ways.
Yeah. Did you catch your laptop then or phone?
No, I'm on my little camping table. So
okay, fine. Yeah.
I've got my reading table there, and I've got
bless you.
my treatment Reiki table behind there as well. So this is my actual.
Well, that can
Reiki
be
room.
explained then.
Yeah, so no, I did catch the camping table.
Oh, that's all right
so
then.
It's got a little handle on which I just caught then. So
oh, bless you.
There's always loads going on anyway. But
yeah.
I had a little picture when I was doing I had the extension done. I took a photograph, and through the glass, the extension, I could see a little girl that I had at the weekend, like on a Sunday afternoon, and this spirit energy had followed me as well. And she was like, come back to the investigation where you'd been. And I was like, all right, okay. So they want you to go back to get the next part of the story as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
did you go back?
No, I haven't been back yet. I haven't been back yet. So
yeah.
I will look forward to doing that. I have been there 2 or 3 times, and it's like, again, come back. We need your attention, you know. So again, a lot of spirits do call you. So again, it's having that nice stack of, there's a time and a place. So if you get a boisterous spirit that's too bombarding, I'll just ask them to wait at the back of the queue. You know, so there's little things that everyone works in different ways. And you know, I get people ringing me up and asking me for help, and I'm always helping. Even last night, a good friend of mine said there's a friend who's hearing spirits, sensing spirits, sees spirits, but they think they're going mad. And I'm like, no, welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Try these 5 or 6 little processes first. Any questions, inbox me back, write them down,
and
try and work with them over a week or 2. If you're struggling at any point, just give me an inbox back. So again, it's all about, I've been there, you know what I mean? It's like when you first want to run with it and you want to investigate every night and you want to do this all the time. You can't, your body's only human. So again, you've got to preserve your energy as well. So again, it's all about the balance. So like, you know yourself, when you do 2 or 3 investigations on the run, it gets tiring sometimes. But when you have that dip, as I said earlier on, it can, that's when the lower energies come in and play. Right, we'll play with you now. Your energies, if they're low, we'll try and bombard you. And it's like, no. And then you've got to raise the game back up then, so you don't let them affect you too much. You know what I mean? You've got to keep things pushed back. And the white light to me always portrayals and overshines any lower energies as well.
Yeah, the last investigation I did, I don't know what happened, but I was just absolutely drained. And there's something really weird happened.
But you can get too much away sometimes in the way of like, you can be too open and like go, I don't mean blasé. It's like
I think all of us were affected, to be fair.
Right.
For me to be drained during the night, so much so that I get in the car and have to pull up at the first motorway services when it's only 40 minutes drive, doesn't generally happen, does it? So no. I can generally drive an hour without being tired, you know, because you've still got all the momentum, haven't you, from the night? So it gets you home, but I don't know what happened then. But I was really struggling at the night because I think.
But you can be zapped. I've been on investigation with other mediums, and my team's gone to me. You need to warn or preempt that medium that something's going to affect them in the night. And I've had a medium, oh, nothing's ever affected me. Then all of a sudden, they've been zapped. Yeah. And he said, how did you know that was going to happen? I said, well, it's not about knowing it's going to be happening. I'm getting the trigger warnings at the signs that something's going to try and affect you. It's not that they're an easy target. It's what it's like. They'll chirp and chip away and trying to drain their energy to feed, to come back and try and push their energies onto somebody else and try and bombard somebody else as well. So they're the battery pack. And that, the actual thing that happened to that medium, he had all his protection up, but that actual medium, the energy come from below and came right up through his feet and zapped him that way. Gosh. And he said, I've never had that before. And I said, but it's a lesson. It's a nice way of saying, so if somebody comes up to another location and said, make sure you put your full protection up, you'd wrap up underneath as well. So you protect under your feet as well as you're grounded, but you make sure that you're wrapped up under your feet as well, not just around the physical energy that you're carrying. Yeah. You put your golden bubble below you as well and above you. You know, I've been pushed down 10 flights of stairs.
Oh, my God.
And snapped my hand, which is on one of them pictures behind me.
Ouch. Right.
And again, but that was like little sprites playing. My attention had been taken elsewhere and I just got pushed.
Yeah.
I just got like a slap on the back of the head. I've never experienced that before, but it's never happened twice. I don't wish to happen twice, but I've learned from that, and it's learning from the experiences as well.
Yeah, it's weird because I did do protection that night, which is a rarity for me. I shouldn't actually admit that one, but there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we did the group protection. I took it seriously, and then at the end, it just got us. You know, I don't know. It's weird.
You can put 2 or 3 levels of protection around yourself. You can put many barriers around yourself. A lot of people just go with the general protection, and you know, some people can be affected, but sometimes you can put a lot of there's different techniques as well there to make sure you're over shielded as well.
I do go to that location a lot though, and I do challenge it, you know, just see who's around, and
you know, even with the Reiki and all that as well, there's different types of Reiki out there, and there's different ways of doing different techniques with the Reiki as well.
Yeah. Got a message then. This is from Andy. It's nice to know that we interact with spirit. They're also interacting with us. It's nice to know you are wanted by them.
It's an amazing feeling, Andy, and I think one of the biggest eye openers for me, my nan one of my nans looks after me as well, and she's a very, very protective lady. She's only small, but she's got a wallop.
That's brilliant.
And she will have no fear in getting somebody by the short and curlies, which she has done before. Awesome. And again, just to protect me, she's done that many a time. And one of the first images I ever seen was actually just nodding off, sitting up at the end of the night, just finishing off reading something or just texting somebody or whatever, but sitting up. And then on the bottom of my bed just went like that and dipped. And I was like, whoa, I've just seen what I've seen then. Didn't see the spirit energy, but to see that and then, right, okay, obviously to me, it is a friend or a family member. Is this you, Nan? And then I got the warmth glow. I got the warmth, I could feel the warmth, and I was like, right, okay. Again, different types of chapters of different things you're going through in life. I was pre-told something in 1982 that was going to happen at the turn of the millennium, and it did happen at the turn of the millennium. Wow. And I got that by a palm reader in Blackpool in 1982, and that actually came about. Be wary of the turn of the millennium. That actually happened at the turn of the millennium. So naturally, as humans, you overanalyze things and think, "Oh my God, I'm 8 years away from the millennium. I'm 4 years away from the millennium. I wonder what's going to happen." And it's not what you're expecting, you know. So
but you've been warned about other things, but we won't go into that, obviously, because I know we've had talks about you know, and you do see things what happen in the future, don't you? Sometimes, very hard to live with.
Very, very much so. And again, I asked my team just to show me a week or two ahead, because you don't want to see the kitchen sink. Again, chapters of 20 years, 5 years, 8 years. You're carrying that on your shoulder.
That's right.
To know somebody's passing 2 years prior to them passing. And I can't say anything.
No.
Until it happens. But I've spent more time with that person for 2 years than I may not have done. So again, it's saying spend your quality of time. Life's life. I understand that. I can take that on the chin. I can deal with most things. But again, it's sometimes there's a barrier where things start getting personal. But again, that's your team looking after you, even when they're giving you personal information again. So it's like I always say, it's like nod, tap your hat, acknowledge it. Thank you very much. I understand that. I've received it. I'll log it, clock it, store it. Put it in room 101 and just deal with every day in life. And again, we've got that much going on in life that we take each day as it comes, and that's always the best way. So again, I've seen some amazing things, and I've seen some amazing mediumship out there. I did cover a situation where I've been asked to help police and solve stuff and that in the past, and I would not go into that. I would not do it because I actually said no. And this was 10 years later, when everything was, the path had been run. So so the path had been run. So a family member had said, could you come out and see what you sense? and I actually didn't know anything about this case till the full SP. And the first thing as I walked on the land towards this property, I just got struck on the back of the head, and I went on my knees, and they went, "It's all right, we know what's happened now." They didn't tell me. They just knew that there'd been an implement used and the body was never found. But I was just virtually flat on my knees as soon as I was walking up towards this cottage. And they were like, that's fine. But that's where I'm saying that the family members want their understanding and take. So again, that was a police case that was closed down, but that to them was their closure.
Yeah.
You don't have to go too in depth. They're right, okay, we've understood what's gone on. That's fine for us. And I'm like, that's the easiest way I can explain it. I said, that's fine. So again, it's been about being professional, but if I was on the receiving end of that, what way would I want to receive certain information of that?
Yeah.
Because everyone's got to have closure at some point around certain situations. Again, some are very, very hard, topical, where it's very touchy, and it's a very situation where, you know, leave things for like 100 years, you know, the next generations to investigate certain things. That's fine. I think we should have a bigger bank of information around where we can store stuff, like a paranormal museum.
Yeah. So
in 100 years' time, we can still like collate like a library and go back to that and go, oh, this chapter come out about Sherlock Holmes. Oh, the amount of times I see myself in like London streets back in the day on the street corners, it's just like,
wow.
It's just when you get in the flashbacks and the images, and then you get called to London, then you got to go to the Tower of London, and then you get to the bottom of the story of what's gone on there about this certain time and chapter again. So again, it all ties in. It's like a book. It's just, the chapters are just amazing.
Yeah, I went to Shepton Mallet, and the last investigation, I sat where the prisoner was, and Victoria Wells sat where the visitor was. And I've got his story. But the thing is, his relatives are around. And his victim's family is still around.
Yeah.
And there's something that he's got. There's a message. And like,
well,
I can't really give it.
When I was at Shepton, I actually started the investigation. I'm there on the 25th of November with Keep, I think. Got an overnight sleep there,
Right, cool.
25th of November. I actually went straight up to the governor's office, and he didn't want me telling his story. And I'd had 1 hour sleep all weekend. And I go about my daily duty on a Monday, and he's over my shoulder. And he made it hard for me all week.
Oh, God. It
was like he was grilling me and drilling me. I'll keep you busy, mister.
Oh, my gosh.
You've been in my zone, I'll be in your zone. I was like, right, okay, that's fine. And then it took like 40, 50 hours of me being kept busy to go, right, don't be doing that again. So again, sometimes when you're in their area and field, they can come back into your area and your field as well and try and upset the apple cart as well. So it's like, don't tread on my toes, I won't tread on your toes. So again, it's a lot of control with some of the older spirit energies, isn't it? Because, you know, that was the governor of the prison. He would not just want a little mere person walking around giving his story. So it was like, yeah. So that's actually been in the book. Was actually in the book of one of Tasha's books. That's been in the story and all that. So I've got all them down there as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. Like this story, like I've got so much information from him. And I was going to film it, but then when it got to the nature of it and the fact that it's from the 1970s, he was 30 at the time, so obviously his family's still around now. It got a bit much, so I stopped filming. And I had the S-box, and twice it says, I must apologise. And it seems that I'm the first person he actually spoke to, and he admitted the crime. Whereas before, he always made out he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I sent the information through to Shepton Mallet, should, you know, anything actually come to light. But with it being 1970-ish, then it's data protection.
Well,
so,
all the when I'd done a walk around at Shepton Mallet Prison on Gary Field's Raw Paranormal on YouTube, you can actually, I get one of the craze through, you can actually see the cheekbones.
Oh my God, wow.
Drawing in. I'm very going gaunt as I'm walking around, and I'm just doing a walk around, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. But to me, it was just acknowledging me and just watching like 5-10 foot behind me, but I could feel him. I could feel my features changing with him. I was like, right, I know who I've got here. I respect you. You respect me. Everywhere I go, I'll always talk to the gatekeeper. I'll always talk to, introduce myself. You know, I'm carrying here just to get some information and communicate. But when you get certain parts of the stories and all that, and we actually went in the cell that here said person was in, and I give a story of what I was getting then about somebody having items taken off them, and this person was in trance. Then I put this person in trance, and they were virtually on the knees, and said, I could see him standing before me, Gary, as you was talking. I could see that person that you was talking about in spirit stood in front of me, and they virtually like, I don't know, they take all your jewelry off you and all this, that, and the other, obviously in prison and that. And it was just the item that they took off him was like, you would not have thought that that meant the world to him. You know what I mean? It just might have been a little lucky charm or something like that. But it was so specific. And I think we'd gone to Shrewsbury prison, and we'd had quite a similar energy in and around us, where we was on the talking board, as I always call it, and I said 2 girls in this cell, and I said to them straight, I said to the team on the board, I said, they'll be running out of there in a minute. And they sent it, there was only 2 of them in the cell, and one lady took a picture in front of the other, and you can actually see a hand just like crawling up the wall, and both 2 girls run out, and it was the actual person that we had on the board at the time that was in that cell as well. And these 2 girls run out, and I went, they stood right by me, and they're all shivering and shaking, and I went, was it, I don't know, I can't remember his name, was this you, Tommy? And it just went, yes, it was me. And it was like, I enjoyed that, and it felt, and it was like, our faces were like, it was just absolutely classic. But there, you had to be there to tie that in.
This is it, yeah.
You know, I mean, we've had 2 boards going at once. We've had the old writing board with the planchette and the pencil, and we've had a board going at the same time, and we've had the spirit in a corner, and on both different tables, it's been spelling out the same things, but they're the links at different connections. Yeah. But that's what it's about, getting the link and connection. It's just, that's what you can't buy. You have to be there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
I've described the spirit energy in the dark. Forgotten Era Dave Hart, who I've worked with on when we've done Past Hunters and all that for promo for Sky Paranormal TV show. I explained and described this spirit, and David already drew the picture in the dark. A lady took a photograph that was just a normal person, and the person I was describing in the window was the image of the photograph she took. You could see the girl in the picture in the window. David drew that person in the window in the dark, and I'd just described that person as well. So you had 3 links of just what you just tied in, and it's just like that. That's just amazing evidence. It's just like, wow, I'm sensing this energy. I can see her. She's standing there, and she's got all this imagery on her as well. But for somebody to describe her, somebody to draw her in the dark, and somebody to actually take a photograph and of the image in the window was just like, wow, wow, wow. Yeah,
it's great to get that sort of validation, and it's just, it really is.
But that's when it gets mind blowing, doesn't it? It's like,
oh, it is, yeah. Because I do get things, and you do question things all the time. That's what we do naturally, isn't it? And sometimes if you get enough validation, it's like, well, you know, this is it. You know, it is brilliant. I've got a question from Von then. I'm just trying to catch up a bit.
Yeah, fine away, Von.
Do you do development online?
Not as much as online. I'm over in Cheshire, but I can always sort something out. Do you know what I mean? I always try and meet people's needs. Do you know what I mean? But I think with that, again, it's like the heightened sensitivity here. If I do development classes here, it's just heightened tenfold. If I do platform work in a spiritualist church, it's just like being plugged into the mains electric box. It's just like, wow, the uplifting energies when you walk in a church again. So I'll look into that, Von, and I'll try and help people out as well. I can do a message of life feed, video and all that as well. But I like people to experience what's going on in and around here. I've been on investigations around Chester walls, and I've done the Roman walls, and somebody's tried to take me positive portal out where it sits. And I'm like, something's not right at home. And somebody's going, what are you talking about? We're in Chester. I'm like, no. Something's trying to affect something going on at home. The energy here that we're picking up on in Chester is trying to affect my area and take the positivity portal out. And I was like, no. So I'm actually linking in to protect my home property when I'm in an investigation.
Oh
so these are the things that they play away and tick away with and try and be a little bit misdemeanor and do that decisive thing where you're not expecting it. So it's like pulling at your heartstrings, but trying to play with the energy in your own property while you're doing something else. So they'll always try and upset the apple cart. So you've always got to be one step ahead. And this is where it gets tiring and draining, because we all have dips. We all have that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that again, where you've got to be on your toes all the time. Do you know what I mean? Likes of obviously pre-surgery that I had recently, I knew there was going to be complications. 4 days later, the complications kicked in, and I was like, but I'd already put Reiki. I'd done myself a Reiki treatment prior to that, so that'd give it a heightened boost. So again, prior to that Reiki, I think it had been much, much stronger with the complications than what it was again. So a lot of people thought, oh, never thought of that. But it's like different practitioners work in different ways as well. So again, that's your sixth sense and your team looking after you prior to something as well. You know what I mean? But again, if you can imagine your full speed ahead, you don't want to be slowed down. That's the worst thing for me. But I think the chapters where I've needed to be slowed down the last few weeks, and then we go.
Yeah, you were certainly grounded, weren't you? Bless you.
Yes.
But at least you look well anyway, and I'm glad.
No, to be honest with you, I've actually burnt like mad today outside. I've actually burnt like mad on me back.
Oh my
gosh!
Wow.
So it was just a bit breezy, and I've been busy ticking over.
Oh, bless you.
So I've actually, I feel like quite sunburned today, to be honest with you. I enjoy it, you know what I mean?
At least you're resting though, and that's
good. I'm off till September because we're on summer holidays.
Yeah, so, that's it.
I think I'm on my fourth or fifth week now, so I would have had 9 weeks off. So that's not me at all. Do you know what I mean?
No, because you're always out and about, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. So I will be out and about soon. I've got a few places coming up and investigations to come about soon. So I can't wait to get back and get to them as well.
Yeah, bless you. I've got 3 on the trot: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wish me luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. Stay away from the Lucozade. Just bottled water's the best.
Oh dear. And the last place is a place which links to 2 of my past life regressions. So I'm going in with different knowledge this time.
That's not me looking down at you like that, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah, I know who it is. John Black. Yes, I know.
And it's like, you've got more to learn yet.
I know I have.
Sorry.
I know I have. I've got serious issues with that place. Don't even.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's. Oh,
I don't know where that place is. You know what I mean? So it's just.
Oh God! I was from there. Oh my God! And
I feel.
And a friend actually showed me a book she's reading.
Well, I've just done that. Close the book. Close the chapter. Then.
And I saw this book, and I knew that was my hangman. And it's the right period of time. And he was, well, no, don't do that.
Sorry.
Oh, God, no.
That's the link and the connection as well.
I know. So I've got 2 past life regressions linking in with this, and it's, and I'm going there.
Okay.
On Saturday.
Right. Okay. I'm going to say basically, I just do feel he would show himself as a dark figure mask, but cloaked.
Oh, he will. And I'll sit in his chair.
Sorry. Leaky mediumship, they call it that, is actually leaky mediumship, because I haven't got more information, but I know the energy and the link of that connection that's there. So that's like the prior pre. I don't mean warning, but it's a prior pre. Be on your toes, young lady.
Oh yeah, I know where he lives.
Okay. Last time you was there, you didn't have anything spilt on you or drop anything, did you?
No, he was quiet. He kept back. He kept hiding. He kept out of the way.
Okay.
It was weird last time. He wasn't there. He was there. I know he was, but it was because I was ready to challenge him, and he just no. And it's actually the location where I first spoke. I had my first first conversation with a spirit was a little spirit girl. That was his daughter. And it's only when I went back, he was annoyed when I went back.
Ask when you go, just generally what I'm getting at the minute is just ask if you'd like to talk to me, like whisper in my ear, and we'll have a conversation. I think he'll come on more of your wavelength.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So I feel that there's more of a little bit of an understanding. So I feel he's watching present at the moment and going, oh, okay, I'll have a little think about this. And that's how I feel that them mannerisms were coming about with.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Yeah,
so work with it, but in your mind. You don't have to say anything out loud. Just work with it in your mind.
Oh, yeah, it's been going on since the 1200s. So, yeah. It's random, isn't it? But my gosh. Justin. Oh, let's do Justin first.
Hello.
Where did the Krays lie?
Well, I think one was in London. One was in the prison, wasn't it? In one of the prisons. I don't do history, so unless I go to them places, I don't get the full history until I come across that chapter. Yeah. So obviously, only what I've known and seen on the media, that side of it, but I don't look at it as that way, Justin. But
I got one of the Krays through at Smethwick Baths. And he was dragging this bloke across the floor, and he was wearing all beige, the beige 70s trousers and shirt.
He was collecting.
They kicked his head in. It was in the gym bit in Smethwick Baths. Because another medium picked up on him as well there. Well, I wasn't impressed.
I went to a wedding.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm in Stratford.
Okay.
The station is over the road. And my mate said, what's the matter? I went, I need to go wherever the billiard room was. He said, what? He said, no billiard room in here. So I'm off. I'm in the back end of this. I'm in the back end of this hotel now. And I've actually got stuff had gone on in the billiard room, the snooker room or whatever. And they used to come in at the train station and go in underneath the road under the hotel and then come out in that area. Basically, so they were debt collecting then again at the times, and obviously the imagery that I was seeing was just
balls in socks.
Well, it was being plummeted to pillar to post, and again, it's that fear factor, isn't it? Again, but that's the nature of them. But I got battered with a lot of the emotions the other day when I seen an imagery of what. Was it Justin just asked about where did the Krays die, and I'd seen a clip on the telly, so even seen a clip on the telly on a newsreel or something had come up on TikTok or something like that, and I'd watched a clip, and then all of a sudden 20 minutes later I'm bombarded, and I'm like, right, okay, you've given me that emotions. And it was the actual part where Ronnie, the one with the dementia, the one with the mental side of it, had virtually pushed him to kill McVitie at the blonde lady's house, and I could virtually feel the impact of the blade that they was using and stabbing him with. And then that was just from the imagery of watching the TikTok. So 20 minutes later, I've got a flashback of that, what actually went on, and it was like, it wasn't an eye for an eye. It was like, obviously, I've killed someone, you've not killed anyone yet.
Right.
So he pushed and pushed and pushed. So again, he was pushed into doing that crime to make himself look, oh, I'm just as big and as hard as you. But it was that bullied situation into it. Do you know what I mean? Where it's that mentality of, you've got to understand it as well with spirit. A lot of people are driven, and a lot of people do have a lot of things going on that people do peck their heads. So be it, there's youngsters out there that are in a lot of spirit, and there's a lot of youngsters out there that's open. And certain parts of chapters of their life, if they don't work spiritually, they can have a lot coming to them at a wrong time in their life, and they're peppered and bombarded spiritually, and that can drive them to do certain things. There is certain energies and there is certain spirits that will step in of lowered energy and make humans do things that people don't actually see out there. There was one case that was in court, and I would have loved to have stepped forwards and give my spiritual side of it, why that person had done what they've done, but I'm not allowed to. It's not for me. It's process. And that's when it's hard professionally to see something. And I went to, I think it was Penryn Old Hall in North Wales by Llandudno, and I could see a pit, and I could see a pit of bodies. And I've got, I don't know, I think top of my head, 03 or 1913, I could see hundreds of bodies, hundreds of bodies in this pit on close by. And I thought, I've got to go to the police. I've got to go to the police. I've got to get this off my chest. This is quite strong. All right, okay, go home, have a cup of coffee, drove home, wake up the next morning, and my guide went, 1813. So the process of, we naturally think it's an era quite close to us because we shouldn't be seeing that imagery, and it shocked us. And it was 100 years prior to that, so it was nearly 200 years old. So me going to the police of that night was a learning curve to not react with your emotions of the severity of what you've seen. On the night, it was coming out 1913 or 1912 or something like that. And then the next morning I got 1812. So again, learning curve.
Yeah, that's right.
So you've got to piece the things together. So imagine me spending 12 hours in a police station explaining what I've seen spiritually. You know, like, I mean, I love Jack Osborne. Love watching like Portals from Hell. I'm only just catching up. I don't watch a lot of telly.
I don't know.
I'd love to meet Jack because I like the way he works. Basically, they'd done an investigation at a place, and they'd opened this cell, not in a police station or somewhere, and they'd found bones. So they'd done the professional thing. They went to the local sheriff. They reported it. Stay away from the area. Okay, 12 hours later, you're okay to go back and investigate, but not go in that scene or that area again. So there's a lot of things we come across that you've got to deal with and be professional, and that's what it's all about.
I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. We had one from Jude. I'm not sure if Jude's still watching, about Woodchester.
Oh yes, I've had some good nights there. Woodchester Mansion. Again, this was one that I was picking up on stuff prior to going there. And I met up with a couple of amazing mediums. Turning round prior to getting there to go into the meeting location, one of the local pubs and all that, I actually had an accident in the car. I actually scraped right down the sill of the car on that. But I was virtually pre-warned about just not watch where you're turning around, but just watch yourself tonight. It's dark, it's middle of winter. And I'm like, yeah, it'll be all right, I'm fine. There's nobody on the road. And then there was a big stone on this like grass verge as I turned around. It just like simplistic things. But when we actually got to Woodchester Mansion, it was, I could actually see a lot of land from like the 1600s, a lot of witches, basically, that's, how can I explain it? Would be like a medicine person of today, you know, like your chemist, basically. But they mix with, like, they would mix you a love potion. If you wanted a love potion, they'd make it after the act. But back in the day, you wouldn't know what it was. So spiritually, as I said, this witch spiritually of the land is giving me this drink. So I give it to one of the members of the public, and within 3 seconds, it was like there was either poison or a love potion, and that was her forte. And this person virtually hit the floor and was going, "Oh my God, what have you given me? What have you?" I said, "That's the poison one." I said, "I've worked it out now from your reaction." And they were like, "Oh my God," you could feel it. And I said, "Okay, step back now, Spirit. You've given that experience and come back round, fresh as a daisy." I said, "Now take this one." They were like, "Oh, don't know whether to should." And they were like, "Oh my God." And you could just see the love side of the enthusiastic of the love potion coming out. It was just like gangly, you know, really puppy dog eyes and everything. And it was so funny for the members of the public to see. And I went, that's what they did in their time. They will treat you herbally. If you've got a cut or a wound, they'll treat you, but they'll also do a potion, a love potion or a poison potion, depending if they liked you or they didn't. And then I worked out, I went, the first potion was for me, wasn't it? And we could hear something in the background. I don't know where. It wasn't a cackle. We heard this noise, a scuffle, or so. We had just heard a shuffle. I think, I can't remember now, but there was either a shuffle or somewhere where we turned around at that time. I said, "Would you like to give me a love potion now?" And it was like, no, like, it's not for you. I was receiving. It's not for you, the love potion. I was like, right, okay, no problem. But I think the poison one was meant for me as well, to have me on, put me on my toes again and keep me spiritually, have a spiritual drink of what I've made for you, Gary. I was like, right, okay. Well, I see the lie of the land there at Woodchester Mansion. And as you're driving up there, it's like at the top of a hill, but in a valley. It's quite like a bowl, is how I feel. So obviously you don't get any reception there or nothing. So you can't do any live unless you've got all your recording equipment and stuff like that as well. But I do like Woodchester Mansion, but again, I always say to people, go in different seasons: autumn, winter, summer, spring. You get different variants of the energies at the different times that come off the lie of the land. One night we went there and it was a full moon, and it was just like the energies were just so strong. We'd had a break. It was freezing, absolutely Baltic. I'm talking like -1 or 2, and it was absolutely freezing. And I had a break, and I said to the lads, there was only 5 of us in the whole building. I said, he'll come running back in a minute. 2 of the lads had gone off, and there was 3 of us in the hub. Next minute, the door down by the church had slammed right in his face in the chapel area, and it just came running. And you could hear it. It was like Scooby-Doo. You could hear it back down.
No way.
You could hear them coming back down the corridor, and I was like, told you, they've been gone 5 minutes. They come back with it. They said, "I didn't take you long." I said, "What happened?" They were just white they were just pure. More just slammed right in the face, and it was a pure still night, full moon. It was just classic. And the other 2 lads are looking at me going, "How did you know that was going to happen?" I was just like, "I'm just giving you what I've just been given."
Yeah.
I was given is they'll be coming running back before anything. And it was just like, within a millisecond of that, it just happened. And then it was just like, great. It was just like, it's just amazing to experience. But I do like Woodchester Mansion. And I went down with, I think it was Ghost Seekers Wales, and I was doing I went to greet the people at the front gate, and it was freezing. And I think me and Aaron were there, and we could actually hear people behind us on the land before you entered, on the scuffling around. We could hear scuffling around us all the time, even when we was just like, yeah, go down the path and follow the lane down there. And we had amazing time at the gate for 20 minutes greeting people in, on this Baltic night as well. And again, it's going to be a certain positive night when everything's going on, even when you're waiting to greet people and you can hear stuff, and we're going, "You hearing what I'm hearing?" So, yeah,
that's
just
brilliant.
Amazing. And that's like the gatekeepers looking after you, watching you, poking around, seeing what's going on. Again, where you've got positive, you've got negative, and you're like, is it positive, is it negative? Gatekeeper, what's going on, the lie of the land. So even when you approach somewhere, Pendle Hill, you get different energies as you're just walking through, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's different there, isn't it? I've only been to the graveyard there near the Witch's Shop.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's different.
Well, I actually had the little girl at trial that said all the family members were witches, and she had them all hung and all that. We've actually got on White Noise again on the live that I've done on YouTube on Gary Field's Raw Paranormal on the Pendle Hill wall. You actually hear me with the SP11, and you could actually hear the girl saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And that's what it was about. And it all linked in with previous visits as well. And it was just mind-blowing because, again, when you go with different people, you get different things.
Yeah.
And that just tied in from the visit that we'd had before. So it's like, that's part one, this is part two. And you could actually hear on the live, you can actually hear this little girl going, I'm sorry, I was so sorry, I was so sorry, sorry. And it's just like, wow. And you just naturally know some people have said the wrong things, and, you know, your family members have been trialed just for the voice of one person that said something wrong, you know what I mean? So again, it's that learning curve. Again, it's then the little things.
Yeah.
The little things.
It's so special though, don't you know, when you realise. Oh, bless you, Andy. It's all right. We didn't notice.
What's that?
Pendle Hill. It's all right. He had a little bit of a typo spell check thing. Yeah. A quick last one then, because I don't want to keep you waiting. That, you know, thank you. It's been brilliant. Actually, could chat all night, to be fair. How do police react when you tell them you've received information?
Basically, that was family members that wanted chapter closed. So obviously, it wasn't police direct to me. It was like on that incident, it was the family members of another Reiki master that come to me and said, look, my friend needs some information. Can you come and have a look around this cottage? And that, I said, yeah, I give that on the land. And what actually happened was that was their closure. It's not the police coming to me directly, because I wouldn't do it, because there's no court in the land that was listened to a medium. So if I stood up and give evidence, they would not take that as suffice. They will go in for directions. I've done a show on when mediums have helped the police to guide them if people have gone missing, because then people are still alive when they've gone missing. And mediums have drew in Australia. I've done a case where our medium drew this like outbuilding and a tub, and I think it was like a 45-gallon drum, and the actual girl was in the 45-gallon drum. That medium was in Australia, was miles away from where this incident had happened. And the police went and they found that person that had gone missing. They were still alive, I think. And what actually happened on that, it was about 10 yards away from what they'd actually drew. So the imagery that they'd seen and drawn down on the paper, if the body was there or the girl survived, I can't remember now because it was like 3 or 4 years ago that I'd done that. And the drawing that the medium drew was 10 yards away from where the police found that person. And that is, you know, how vast is Australia?
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
Just, you know, so again, that's the team linking in and connecting as well, you know. So just had seen some amazing work off mediums. I'd love to draw. I'd love to do the spiritual drawing. That just blows my mind the way I love that. That's amazing. Yeah,
I got warned when I went to, you weren't at that one, at Skirrid. And somebody drew me a picture to say, watch it, it's waiting for you.
Me little mate.
It's Just Jeffries.
Yeah, me little mate.
And I didn't know who it was. And he's linked to my past life as well. Surprise.
Yeah. So I've actually come across him there in the Skirrid. I've had him in. I've actually been to his home in Liverpool.
Oh, wow.
His former residence. I can't remember what it's called now. And I actually transfigurated him through in the mirror, which I've got a photograph of as well. Wow. His Stanley Palace in Chester, which I'm talking about. And I've had him quite a few places now at the chambers in St. George's Hall in Liverpool. Tried to portray himself as 6 different judges, different eras, different times, but just playing games with you. Yeah. And you're like, you're not from this period. And it's like, no, but I'm keeping you on your toes as well. But all night, I can't put my hand on what's going on. I can't put me up. So I've been like the Skirrid the week before, and then he's messing around in St. George's Hall going, I'm still here. I'm still around. You're in my, these are like my type of places that I'd be, and you wouldn't be here. You're just a minor. You know what I mean? So we will play games with you. Yeah,
I might encounter him as well. Because it was really weird the time I went to Skirrid. My car was really playing up. The emergency engine light was going off all the time. And I'm sure it's my mum who does this. And she just did not want me to go to the Skirrid. And this woman had already warn me that this bloke is waiting for me there at 6 o'clock. It's raining and I was going camping, so I put the sat nav just for the camping. And there's a pub. I thought, oh, let's go in there for a coffee, not realising it was Skirrid. And yeah, it's the time what was on the picture as well.
Jeff's great there with the food on. It's great food there as well. I love Jeff.
I love him. Yeah,
I could sit and talk to Jeff all night long as well. Which we've had some great nights as well down there at the Skirrid.
I need to go, but yeah.
I need to tell you that story before we go as well.
Yeah.
I actually, at about 4 o'clock, I think I crashed in room 1, obviously where they used to hold them down by the bathroom there.
Yes, that's
there. And my mate came in the room about 9 o'clock going, come on, we need to go. And it obviously woke me up and I was quite startled, which I don't usually get startled. But when I woke up, I could see how it was in the room.
Wow.
And I could see the whole room. Like for a millisecond, I was like, whoa, because I was in that different parallel of waking up and
oh my gosh,
different corridor that the imagery was coming through. And I was just like, wow, I've just seen everything how it was.
My gosh.
And I could just see through the both rooms where the rooms in between 1 and 2, it was just one room. It was just dead long. I was like, wow, I've just seen that flashback. And that's what can happen quite quickly as well. With the imagery that you're shown, milliseconds, and your guiding team will tell you when you're working with public or you're working with a member of the team that your guiding team will say they've just seen that, they've just seen this, they've seen that, and you're just like, you've just experienced that, haven't you? And they're like, yeah.
Wow.
It's quite a shock to them as well.
It's incredible, that is.
No, but had some good nights with our Judge Jeffries.
Yeah. But I want to thank you a lot for coming on. It's been brilliant again. Need to meet up with you sometime soon.
Yeah, we will do.
I'll sort something out.
I think I'll go and hijack a tanker and get back on my travels.
God, I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Tongue in cheek, that wasn't.
Yeah, we know. Yeah,
that wasn't directly.
It is mad at the moment, isn't it? We're just being pushed with everything at the moment, aren't we? You know.
I don't know if you can see that.
Oh gosh.
That was in his house, in Judge Jeffrey's house.
Wow.
In Liverpool. That was me transfiguring him. That's me taking the picture.
That don't look like you one bit, no.
That was me taking the picture in the mirror.
I'll share that. I'll share that I'll share it onto the pages because that, yeah.
So there's a.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's giving me the creeps ears.
Yeah.
Might encounter him on Saturday. Yeah. Brian J. Kano as well, I think. So yeah.
We'll see. But I've had some good nights, and we never stop learning.
Well, that's right.
As again, I've had a great path, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah,
I'm glad I met you. And like Warwick, you screwed my mind up, and like I woke up in the tent thinking, "What the hell happened tonight?" And I was freaking out a bit. To be fair, it's like, my God, I just panicked when I woke up. But yeah,
but that's the experience of you being there, and experience of what people are describing, what people are experiencing, and you having that.
It was
losing that 40 minutes of your life you'll never get back in trance.
It was amazing, yeah. But yeah, I've got footage. I did listen to it a bit ago, but yeah. But thank you so much. Thanks everyone who's watched. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for asking questions, commenting. Look after yourself, everyone. And next week, I'm speaking to somebody who lived in a real haunted house. And yeah, she had to leave. But yeah, but thanks a lot. Take care.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
See you. Bye.